Before we start, I want you to pause for a moment. Yes, you. Close your eyes. Take one deep breath and ask yourself this question. Am I living my life or am I running from it? Because today, I'm going to tell you a story. A story about a boy who changed his entire life. Not because he was special, not because he was gifted, but because one day he finally decided to walk away from the life that was killing him slowly. And as you listen, don't just hear the words. Feel them. Imagine them. Learn from them. Because this story is secretly about you. So, are you ready? Let's begin. There was once a boy named Evan. He wasn't rich. He wasn't talented. He wasn't brave. He was just invisible. Every morning he woke up tired. Not because he didn't sleep, but because he didn't dream. School felt like a cage. Home felt like a battlefield. And his mind felt like the loudest prison on earth. People laughed at his English. People mocked his accent. Teachers told him he was too slow. Friends told him he would never be good enough. And Evan believed them. So he stayed quiet. He stayed small. He stayed hidden. But then, something happened. One night, Evan sat alone in his tiny room. The lights were off. His phone screen was the only brightness. He was scrolling, watching other people's lives, watching other people succeed, watching other people live his dreams. And for the first time, something inside him hurt so deeply that he couldn't ignore it. His chest felt heavy. He felt like he was drowning in a life he didn't choose. He whispered to himself, "Why am I watching everyone else win while I stay the same?" He wasn't angry at the world. He was angry at himself. In that moment, he realized the truth. Nobody was coming to save him. Nobody was going to knock on his door and say, "Hey, Evan, here's your dream life." No. If he wanted a new life, he had to build it with his own hands. That night, he cried, not because he was weak, but because he finally understood something powerful. Either he changes or he dies inside slowly. At 3 a.m., Evan stood in front of the mirror. His eyes were swollen, his hair messy, his heart broken. But he looked at himself as if seeing a stranger. He whispered, "I don't want to be this person anymore. Not the shy boy, not the scared boy, not the boy who hides, not the boy who apologizes for existing." That night, he made a promise. I will walk away from the old me. Walk away from fear. Walk away from excuses. Walk away from the people who laughed at him. Walk away from the life that made him feel small. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew one thing. He was done being powerless. People think transformation is loud, that it comes with fireworks, applause, cheers. But the truth? Transformation is silent. It happens at 5 a.m. It happens when nobody is watching. It happens when you delete apps, when you say no to distractions, when you choose progress over comfort. Evan started small, very small. 10 minutes of English practice, 5 minutes of reading, 1 page of journaling, 1 small goal each day. And guess what? He wasn't good. He wasn't confident. He wasn't fast. But he was moving. And movement, even slow movement, is still movement. That's when growth begins. But don't think the journey was easy. Fear followed him like a shadow. What if you fail? What if people laugh again? What if you're not smart enough? What if it never works? Fear tried to pull him back to the old version of himself. But Evan said something powerful. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a companion. You carry it. You walk with it. You move anyway. And that's when the world starts to change. Weeks passed, then months, and then one day, Evan's teacher asked him a question in front of the entire class. His heart jumped. His hands shook. His mind screamed, "Don't speak! They'll laugh!" But he remembered something. He remembered the night he cried. He remembered the promise at 3 a.m. He remembered the boy he wanted to become. So, he took a breath, and he spoke. Was it perfect? No. Did his accent shake? Yes. Did he make mistakes? Of course. But he spoke. For the first time, he spoke like someone who wanted a new life. And that day, nobody laughed. Not because his English was perfect, but because he wasn't the same person anymore. He had changed from the inside. When you change your energy, your life begins to shift. Evan started watching English videos every day, listening to conversations, shadowing native speakers, writing his thoughts in English, talking to himself in the mirror. His confidence grew. His voice grew. His dreams grew. And slowly, the people around him noticed. He wasn't invisible anymore. He wasn't quiet anymore. He wasn't afraid anymore. He was becoming someone new. Someone he always wished he could be.
One evening, his father walked into his room. A man who had never complimented him. A man who rarely showed emotion. He said quietly, "I've noticed you've been working hard. I'm proud of you." Evan froze. For years, he had waited for those words. And when he heard them, something inside him exploded. Not because the words were magical, but because he realized people respect you when you respect yourself first. You teach the world how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. As Evan grew, so did the noise around him. Some people supported him, some doubted him, some envied him, some tried to bring him down. But he didn't stop. He learned the most important truth in life. Not everyone will clap for you, and that's okay. Because applause doesn't build your future. Action does. One morning, Evan looked at his reflection again. Just like the night everything changed. But this time, he didn't see the powerless boy. He saw someone stronger, someone calmer, someone sharper. He smiled and said, "I am proud of you." And that moment was more powerful than any praise from others. Life wasn't perfect. He still had bad days. He still felt tired. He still felt lost sometimes. But here's what changed. He didn't quit. He didn't break his promises. He didn't let his feelings control him. He learned discipline. He mastered consistency. He built willpower brick by brick. Every time he wanted to skip practice, he said, "No, I said I would. That sentence became his superpower. One day, Evan returned to the place where everyone used to laugh at him. The hallway, the classroom, the old bench where he used to sit alone. He stood there silently, not in anger, not in pain, but in gratitude. Because this was the place that broke him, and also the place that built him. He whispered, "Thank you, but I'm not that boy anymore." And with steady footsteps, he walked away. Not from the place, but from the old version of himself. Years later, Evan became someone different, someone unrecognizable, someone powerful. He wasn't the quiet boy. He wasn't the insecure boy. He wasn't the invisible boy. He became the person he wished he had when he was younger. The mentor, the fighter, the dreamer, the speaker. And whenever someone asked him, "How did you change your life?" he said only one sentence: "I stopped waiting and I started walking." This story is not about Evan. This story is about you. Because right now, today, you are standing in the same moment he once stood in. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you feel invisible. Maybe people laughed at your English. Maybe you think you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not ready. But listen carefully. You are one decision away from a completely different life. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when things get easier. Now, right now. Just like Evan, I ask you again, are you living your life or are you running from it? Are you building your dream or are you watching others build theirs? Are you becoming the hero of your story or the spectator of your own life? Because you have two choices: remain who you are or become who you were meant to be. And only one of those choices will change your life forever. Stand up, take a breath, look in the mirror, and whisper these words: I'm done being the old me. I'm ready to walk forward. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to live. Not next week, not someday. Now. Your journey starts here. Your transformation starts here. Your new life starts here. Just like Evan, you only need one decision. Walk away from who you were, walk toward who you can become, because the world is waiting to meet the new you.